Hey guys, it's Erros. I hope you enjoyed your holidays, and today I'm going to show you my hexadecimal storage system. But to show you that, I need redstone. I don't have any redstone. What could I do? Maybe I should get some. Okay, yeah, 8 sounds nice. I only really need one, something creative, but 8 sounds like it will do. Okay, the lights turn off, so any second there should be items flowing into this chest. Oh, there we go. And 8 redstone. Well, looks like I can build stuff now. Well, here's my my system. It's 16 rows by 16 columns, and then it has 15 different clocks, as you can tell, because this gives 0 items, and it's not actually hooked up to anything because it uses Cubehamster's hexadecimal system, which I've made it so that if you press 0, it sends out a pulse that puts a sword into this hopper, which activates this torch, turns it off, turns this on, turns that on, so it locks any other signals coming through, so it leaves this at 0. It pushes out the piston, allowing you to put another signal through, which, as you saw, I left this one at 0. And this turned on because 2 swords came in, and that just happens to be the length needed for the redstone to turn this torch off. So there's 16 different states, of course. There's 15 on states, 0, and 1 off, which is 0. So it goes to 15. Now let's just let me show you that this can work. Also, I'm gonna press column 15, row 15, and before we press the clock, I'm gonna go and show you that what happens is it turns off that torch, so you can see all these other torches are on, and it turns that torch off there. So now we're gonna call 8 items from the last chest, the very last unit. Now each unit looks something like this. They do have 2 of these, or 1 on each side, and I'm going to tell you why they need this. So this essentially acts as an item storage, and a very compact one, since I can't put every single one of the sorters next to each other because they take up too much room. The traditional very compact storage sorters that are 1 wide, but since they take up, I think it's about 5 blocks out, and then they go down too, it'd be running into the other unit, which would be sitting right here. And as you can see, those torches are to show where this whole unit would be. Now, these are the units I'm using. Here's a different design. These ones use droppers because I don't want to use a bunch of hoppers, because they're actually, if you can tell, they're actually what's lagging my game right now. As we can see, there's another storage system there. That one has a 3 chest tall instead of 2. This is the other storage one, but it holds less. As you can see, it holds less. This one holds more, and the reason for that is this hopper is always locked. So is this hopper. So it's a double locking system, meaning those timers would have to be added more items just for 8 items to get out, for 16, for 24, 32, 40, 48, 56. As you can tell, I increased by 8 items up until 64, and then it's stack and 1/4, stack and half, stack and 3/4, 2 stacks, 3 stacks, 4 stacks, 5s. Now, as you can see, as I was saying earlier, it uses Cubehamster's hexadecimal system. GenerikB's, I'm not sure if it's an encoder or a decoder, but it uses that right here to send out one individual signal strength. And how I'm making the wires so compact is I'm using a design like this, so they can all be next to each other. A less compact version, but looks a lot cleaner, would be this. Though the width of this system, this hexadecimal encoder or decoder, would be 16 wide. This one is just 10. So that helps out there. And if we get closer, you can see that all the units are connected. This the system does prevent against overflow. If we can look right here, if we put all 64 items, we see that the furthest it goes, we see a power strength of 1 and then 0. So this sorter won't undo this sorter. And that's the reason why we have 2 torches on each side, is if it turns off this torch, but this torch is still on, that hopper remains locked. And you have to have something like, I'm using crafting benches. If we were to put, or let's leave one in, let's grab 2 redstone. If we were to put in 2 more redstone, making 69, it would give this a power of 1, and that would unlock that hopper. So you need a throwaway block, one that you're never going to put in this storage system to be your item filter. And I'm using crafting tables, because who puts crafting tables into a storage system, and who makes enough to even store them? So there's kind of like, what? How the system is run is it unlocks the bottom, and then it pulses these 2 signals, and it's doing the same thing as the sorter, where it will only unlock the dropper in the middle, and then it will activate it over and over, but it won't activate the one to its right, because this torch stays powered on. As we can see, the signal doesn't cross over and go to there. It stays in its constrained area. And that allows it to pulse out. This is using water streams. And I don't think I said it yet, but the reason why I'm using droppers instead of the hopper design is because of the lag. That's really what it boils down to. Is I don't want a bunch of lag in my system, and if you can tell, there's already a bunch of lag. So of course, here's a bunch of the rapid pulsing comparator clocks, and they stay off because this stays on from the clocks being off. So as soon as the clock turns on, it turns this torch off, which turns all of these repeaters off, and the only torch that is off, so it's an AND gate, will turn this torch on. So I removed that that hopper right there, so I could show you overflow protection. So if we throw 4 items in, it'll go straight through. They won't come down, and they won't activate that torch. So once all the filters are put in, if there's no other place that holds redstone, it will travel back and forth all the way to the end, where it will come to a comparator clock dropper combination. Something I'm going to say that's key right here is this has to be pointed into the blocks over here, because if it's going straight, there's a possibility that the items that get into the dropper will get stuck under these half slabs, or they can even get pushed up onto the ledge right here. So that's why these 2 blocks are here. It will travel down this water stream, and it will go to the output chest, which has an item elevator in the end. I found out that you need solid blocks instead of ice right here to slow the items down so they don't go shooting through the blocks and going out and dropping down. They'll come up and they'll come to your output chest, which, if you remember from the beginning of the episode, We got 8 items from the very far chest. So, I hope you enjoyed looking at my storage system. I think I explained everything except for this over here. This is another design that essentially does the same thing as here. It's a AND gate, so if you turn off this torch, it turns these torches off, but you also have to turn that torch on so that I think it's a NAND gate, it's a not AND gate, because one of these has to be not on and one has to be on for it to function. So I hope you enjoyed looking at it. Before I end the episode, I'm gonna come over here and drop my frames, as you can see in the top left, that I've had that up for like probably the whole episode. This is the 3 chess type, and you can tell there's a lot of hoppers, and that's where most of the lag is coming from. This is a 2 chess, and it's a lot cleaner. I just had these go back and forth. You don't need that. It's of course all gonna funnel down. The difference between the designs is it has the column, as we can see, the column like torch inputs on the bottom. This has it on the side, which means it has to bump up a block, and that's the reason why you can't get one of these systems at a 2 chest, because if you moved down one, this block would cut off the signal, and you'd need more repeaters, and 16 repeaters would take a long time for them all to unload, making it pointless because you want to get your items as quick as possible. All of this hexadecimal system came from a octal system that I originally got the idea from using item frames that seem to not be here, but it used GenerikB's item frame display from a long time ago. That's a failed prototype. So is that, but of course that was never going to work. These are all the designs that use the locking mechanism on the side instead of on the bottom. And then you can see they hold different item amounts. There's a 1 chest design, but it would end up having this problem where if you put them next to each other, it would turn off the torches to the left. And that's about it. Oh, and as I talked earlier, that's basically the sorting system. You can see it's way too big for this system. There will be a download in the description below. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, come ask me. Just leave a comment in the video, and if you want a tutorial, I will probably take an hour to build this again, if not more. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time.